Today we are going to create a pumpkin still life. A still life is when an artist looks at objects that sit still on a table or maybe outside. So, since it's the fall, we're going to look at some pumpkins and make a drawing of them. Now you have two options depending on what supplies you'd like to use. Option 1 is just with paper, pencil, and crayons. Option 2, paper, pencil, water, and a paintbrush, a Sharpie, and washable markers. We're going to start with option 1, paper, pencil, and crayons. You may also want to look at the handout on how to draw pumpkins. If you have some pumpkins at your house or squash or gourds, maybe you want to set them up in front of you. Notice the colors and the shapes. Set them up and notice how some are in front of the others and they overlap. Or we can even take a look at this picture of a still life of a pumpkin. Notice where the light hits the pumpkin, where the shine is and the reflection, where there's shadows, the long stems, all the ridges and the imperfections that make it unique. So get your paper and pencil ready, and we're going to start our first pumpkin with a straight line. On each side, we're going to keep building our pumpkin shape by drawing a curved line on each side of the straight line. And we're going to continue this on each side until our pumpkin is as large as we'd like it. Then I'm going to add a stem up on top, 2 lines, so that it's nice and thick. Maybe give it a curve and a little detail on top so it looks three-dimensional. The second pumpkin is a little bit closer, so I'm going to make it a little bit lower on the paper, and I'm going to draw it the same way I did as the other, but I'm just going to draw it right over top of the first pumpkin, even though my lines are crossing over. It's almost going to look like it's see-through. Once I'm finished, then I'm going to erase the lines where it overlapped. So now it looks like my second pumpkin is in front of the other one. Then add your stem. And make your horizon line on each side. Now, below that line is the ground and above it is the sky. Our sketch is complete. If you're using crayons, the next step is to add color. The technique I like to use for my pumpkins using a crayon is to outline with brown, use a dark orange, or press a little harder with an orange crayon, and just color the interior of each segment of the pumpkin. Then with lighter orange or just pressing lightly, I color the inside of each of the shapes, and then I'll use a little bit of yellow to add a little bit of a highlight in each of the center of these segments of the pumpkin. After sketching, if you choose option 2, you're going to need a black Sharpie to trace over your pencil lines. That way when you use the water, those lines won't run. I'm going to use washable Crayola markers, and I only need a few: green, brown, yellow, and orange. Once I've drawn my pumpkins from the beginning of the video, then I trace them with a black Sharpie. The next step is to use any kind of washable marker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just trace the inside of all of the shapes with the color marker that I need. I'm not fully coloring in all of the shapes. I'm going to be adding water later on, and that's going to fill in and dissolve all of the marker ink, and that's going to fill in the rest of the color. So I'm just adding a little bit of each color, a little bit of orange and a little bit of yellow on my pumpkins. Just going to outline my moon or my sun with the yellow, and just put a little bit of the grass here and there. And then I'll put a little bit of blue around the sky. Again, I'm not filling in the whole thing. The water will dissolve and fill in all the rest of the spaces.